Peace, peace. How you doing today? It's Monday, May the 12th. I want to keep talking with you brothers about this semen reabsorption. And I want to clarify. Because I know some of y'all are paying attention, but you're hesitant. First off, semen reabsorption is not celibacy. So get that out of your head. This is not some vow of abstaining from sex, from staying away from women, from trying to be some kind of Puritan or a priest-like state of consciousness. That's not what it is. Now, in my particular situation, which is an extreme, I'm an extreme practitioner of semen reabsorption. I've gone years without releasing my seed, but that's not necessarily how the practice has to be done. You could make everything like a commitment like I've made to attempting to seal your semen in permanently to a guy who just wants to have firmer erections, experience more explosive orgasms. You're a man who's made the connection between when you ejaculate and how your vitality dips a little bit. You have the refractory period, the period where you have to regain your energy. If you've noticed, particularly as you get older, when you ejaculate, you're often hungry. You're definitely a little bit more tired. And so it leads to gaining extra weight, fat, water. And so semen reabsorption for the average man is going to be about maintaining sexual vitality as you age. And it's for a man who doesn't want to take Viagra. He doesn't want to take Cialis. He doesn't want to have to take TRT or growth hormone when he ages. He wants to be able to maintain his hormonal vitality from his own being. All right, that's the kind of person that semen reabsorption is for. All right, it's for a man who wants to practice internal alchemy, not external alchemy. Now, what are some reasons why you might want to practice semen reabsorption? As I mentioned earlier, and any man will be aware of this, the less that you ejaculate, the more sexual vitality you're going to be. Just think about it. When you go 1 day, 2 days, 3 days without ejaculating, without having sex, masturbating, you're hornier. Go a week, how horny do you feel? Go 2 weeks. For most men, if they go 2 or 3 weeks, 4 weeks without ejaculating, they feel like they're going crazy. Why is that? It's because there's so much energy within you that you don't know what to do with it. And so you've learned to release it through the path of least resistance, which is your penis. But if you knew certain meditations, certain methods of thinking, a different approach, you could learn to reabsorb this energy and put it to use in any manner that you might use. You could use it to work harder. It can be used to age more slowly, to heal yourself, to heal others. So retained sexual essence is a type of creative potential, a vitality that can be used in all manner of speaking. So semen reabsorption is for a man who wants more out of life. What it can also provide, and this is what I find to be one of the most interesting aspects of it, is it's a greater sensitivity to life. It'll provide you with a greater sensitivity to your lover. The longer you go without ejaculating, the more you're going to notice about your woman, the more you're going to feel when you do have sex. So for a certain personality type, that's very enticing, that's very exciting. For the type of a guy who doesn't like deep intimacy, you might not find that interesting, you know? So I'm going to sit here and say to you right now, the technique is not for everybody. I wouldn't just sit here and arbitrarily say every man needs to practice semen reabsorption. Although every man could benefit from it. But based off of the mind state, you see, that's the key. You know, it's not for everybody. It's not. But for those of you who are connecting to my words, Wednesday, May 21st from 8 to 10 p.m., I'm going to be sharing more information about this topic. I'm going to be sharing methods in which you can be successful with this practice in a manner that's safe. Because I'm sure many of you are afraid, like, hey, if I just stop ejaculating, what's going to happen to my prostate, my testicles? Am I going to be more prone to getting prostate cancer? If you've talked to your doctor, they probably would tell you yes. You know, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Like when you go the lengths of time I have without ejaculating, it's a serious responsibility. I mean, you have made a serious commitment to working with your energy, and it's not a small thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start to go multiple months, you will build up an amount of energy that if you don't keep it grounded, if you don't do the meditations, it could become dangerous for you. So it's not just all good like anything. You know, it's a practice that has an effect, but like any what we would call like a superhuman practice or a practice that's going to give you more as a person, there's a responsibility that comes along with it, you know? Like if you gain more wealth, you're going to have to be more responsible with that wealth. So there's that aspect to it. But I guarantee you, give it a try. At this stage that you may be at, you could just try backing off of releasing your seed, maybe every other session. At that rate, you're not going to need any advanced meditations. You're not going to necessarily need to open up the microcosmic orbit or stay super grounded. You know, like ejaculating every other lovemaking session will just provide you with a super powerful orgasm and an increased vitality, you know. If you start to get into going weeks without ejaculating, attempting to go months, you're going to need to open up the microcosmic orbit. You're going to need to learn the grounding practices, which I'm going to share. All that's going to be important because your voltage, the charge that you're going to build in your body by not releasing, because understand, like that sense of horniness, the sexual excitement, it's an increase in your electromagnetic voltage and amplitude. Like literally the charge of your body has expanded, which is why men love to be around beautiful women. Men love to be around women who have that nature that causes you to become more aroused because it's energizing. When a man sees a beautiful woman or a physical form, it gives you more energy. So many women may not understand that. But we're designed that way, you know. So we're looking to harness that energy and redirect it for different purposes, okay? So that's the next little bit. Think about that. If you're not in the Atlanta area, maybe you want to tune into the live stream. It's just a $20 offering. It's going to be on Zoom. I'll leave more information about that in the description, all right? So there's a few more little gems on semen reabsorption. It's not celibacy. It's actually a technique for a man who is, I'm not going to say a freak, but yeah, it's for a person who loves sex, wants to have more sex. And particularly if you're in a monogamous relationship and you want to go super deep with one person, I wouldn't recommend it for a guy to run around from woman to woman to woman. You know, there are guys who do that, you know what I'm saying? And it is what it is, you know. Some of these men can start to dominate women and feel like this sense of power with women, and I'm not teaching the technique to be used in that way. I would discourage that. As you begin to sublimate, when you don't release the seed, you're going to absorb far more of your partner's soul energy into your being than you would if you just blasted out. So imagine now going around performing semen retention with different women, different people with different levels of integrity. You're absorbing them into you more consciously. What might that do to your own psyche, your own soul? Something to think about. I would suggest only practicing with someone who you love and feel the greatest compassion for. Someone who you respect wholeheartedly. That's a good partner for semen reabsorption. So, May 21st from 8 to 10 p.m. I look forward to seeing you. Peace, brothers.